This is a video that explores the power of layers and layer effects in Adobe Photoshop. In this video, you will see a demonstration of layers, layer arrangement, layer adjustments, and layer special effects. My name is CJ Robb. I'm your facilitator. Let's get started. The beginning part of this video will provide a tour of a project I've set up for you entitled Decorative Bowls. The illustration we are working on was created by the genius of Jen Ski in her Mid-Century Modern Mania book series. Reclaim this project file from the beginning as your own by going to the File pull-down menu to Save As. Here, rename your file as yourlastname_bowls.psd. Make sure you are working off your computer's hard drive instead of your desktop or a portable device such as a flash drive. We are now ready to start the tour of the project. If you do not see the project's layer panel, go to the Window pull-down menu to Layers. As always recommended, you will also need the following panels: Tools, Options, History, Navigator, Swatches or Colors. Any additional panels can be deployed as needed throughout the project. Let's take a look at how this project has been set up for you. There are two ways for you to proceed through the project. Either work alongside with me or watch the entire video first and then re-watch the video as you work. Notice that all of the layers have the visibility turned off except for the original background layer. There are 5 bowls on the original background layer with various decorative elements on each bowl. Turning the visibility off the original background layer and turning on the background copy layer, you will see that I made a few modifications to bowls 2 and 3. I moved the decorative outlines from the original background layer to a layer in the appropriate group folders. There is a separate video on the topic of cutting and pasting pixels. This is what the composition looks like when all the layer groups are visible. I will turn off the visibility eye for all the layer groups except Bowl 1 and the background copy layer. Let's look at how these layers work together to create a mini composition of Bowl 1. You will see as I turn off and on the visibility of each layer within Bowl 1 group that the colors, shadows, and text have been isolated on individual layers. This is helpful to us when we want to create special effects to isolated sets of pixels. Special effects are masks we can apply to layers at the bottom of the layer panel. There are many different effects worth exploring. In this project, we will investigate the special effects I chose, and you will replace them with your own choices. Let's look at each layer one by one to see how I created visual interest. Visual interest keeps a composition from looking flat or like a cartoon. Some of the effects I chose to help create visual interest include shade and shadow. The gradient tool was used to create these effects rather than special effects from the layer panel. There is a separate video on how to use the gradient tools when you're ready to explore this powerful illustration tool. For this assignment, let's keep the modifications simple. First, let's change the field color of each bowl. This bowl has a green tinted field color. Make the field color layer current by picking on the layer band. You will know it is current by the distinction in color. The current layer has a lighter gray band than the other layers. To change the field color, you can add a color effect to the layer itself through adjustments. Watch how I create the new effect without losing the original color. Practice changing the color definition through the layer effects as you see here. Stop when you find a color adjustment that appeals to you. The next part of this lesson deals with the order arrangement of layers. Let's take a hyperpause here. Whichever layer is the current layer predicates the placement of the new layer effect or adjustment. Watch what happens here. Bowl 1 field color is highlighted as the current layer. When I add the hue saturation adjustment, the effect is automatically placed above the current layer by Photoshop. Every layer below the hue saturation layer will be affected by this adjustment. Watch again how the original elements are changed when the hue saturation is added to the layers. You can see that where the layer adjustment effect is added, creates an umbrella effect to all the layers below that adjustment layer. So, if you do not want the decorative circles on the bowl to be affected by the color adjustment, you must reorder the layers. Drag the circle layer above the adjustment effect layer. Notice that only the layers located below the adjustment layer will be affected by the new color wash adjustment. The next part of the video showcases layer special effects. You can locate the special effects on the layer panel through the FX tag at the bottom of the layers panel. I've already applied a few special effects to show you how they can create visual interest. Just like the layer group and individual layers, special effects have a visibility eye in which you can turn off or on. You can also modify a layer effect by highlighting the layer that you want to affect, and going to the FX menu, you can uncheck previous effects and choose new ones. If you'd rather not have any effects at all, then you can pick on the layer effect below the layer name, hold down the mouse, and drag it to the layer panel trash can. Watch this again close up. For this project, you will adjust bowl colors, the decorative detail colors, and the special effects. Each bowl must show a change from the original, including the color of the text. This can be affected using the same color adjustment through the layer panel. Unfortunately, you cannot change the font style unless you add your own text through the main menu. The text layers in this file have been rasterized. The explanation for this is in a separate video about rasterizing text. Once you've made the changes to all of the bowls in this document, you will save the original PSD working file and make a copy of the file as a compressed JPEG file. To recap the lessons from this video, you worked with the video demonstration to better understand layers, layer arrangement, layer adjustments, and layer special effects. If you want to learn more about moving pixels from the background layer, the gradient tool, and rasterizing text, look for those specific videos on this YouTube site. Special thanks to the genius illustrations of Jen Ski in Mid-Century Modern Mania.